Think about your own grandparents. Back in the day, people were a lot more self-reliant. They knew how to take care of themselves and their loved ones, just like my grandfather did. Many from their generation would probably scoff at how modern people immediately run to the doctor for every small cut and bruise which can easily be fixed at home, or how much we pay for health care we don't really need. Today, I want to show you some common sense ways to manage most health conditions from the comfort of your own home. I'm talking about simple things like relieving pain, stopping a wound from bleeding, applying a stitch, managing blood pressure and blood sugar, calming down a racing heart, keeping your memory in great shape, and clearing an infection, boosting your immunity, controlling stress levels, and many, many more. When I was a boy, my mother wouldn't take me to see a doctor for every small scratch I got playing in the park. If I fell and hurt my knees, she wouldn't sue the park like some modern folks do. Forgotten wisdom is not only reserved for dark times. These methods are nothing fancy, but they will probably save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on unnecessary doctor's appointments over the next few years. It will also make you less dependent on a vulnerable medical system. We never know what the future holds, and what we find normal today, like going to the pharmacy or hospital, might be gone tomorrow. Please listen carefully to this free advice, as one day it may help you or someone you love. I recently got in touch with a frontline doctor working in a country that's been dealing with hardship and shortages for years and is yet to recover. In this short presentation, I'll show you 3 things I've learned from her that will help you take care of yourself and your family during dark times and may help you slash some medical costs starting today. Each one is important, but the third one is absolutely astonishing. I would have never thought about it and guessed how effective it is. Hi, my name is Claude Davis. I'm an old-fashioned guy who some people like to call a prepper, but I'm not one of those folks you see on TV preparing for a zombie apocalypse. I do prepare for an uncertain future, but I like to do it as our grandparents did. In nearly every household canned food for winter, saved rainwater in wooden barrels, and grew natural remedies in their own backyard. The first of the 3 things I want to share with you is probably hard to believe, that when everything is still okay in our country, but the simple truth is that once society starts to break down, going to a hospital can be a very bad idea. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, a lot of people were left without a home, food, electricity, or running water. But some still had all these things because they had prepared for such an event. My friend Tom was one of them. He had at least 3 months' worth of food and water and a brand new generator that could power his entire home. Because Tom thought he had everything he needed at home, and because his house was on high ground, he decided to stay and weather out the storm. During the hurricane, a small wooden splinter flew inside through a broken window and pierced his hand. It was for an ambulance. He always got a busy tone probably because the hospitals in the area lost power and were already overcrowded with hundreds of sick and injured people. The roads were also not accessible yet by car. By the time my friend reached a hospital, his hand had swollen to the size of a football, and he was in great pain. As he desperately tried to get to the front of the line, he almost fainted a few times and had to be propped up by others. Tom told me he was one of the lucky ones who managed to see a doctor before it was too late. The doctor examined his hand and prescribed some antibiotics. Things were on the mend, but then an unforeseen problem came up. Overcrowded hospitals with lackluster sanitation and hygiene are the perfect breeding environments for germs. Tom's already weakened body picked up another, more aggressive bacteria that didn't respond to the usual treatment. I know firsthand that in the U.S., hospital administrators are pulling their hair out, wondering how to reduce hospital-acquired infections. The rate can be alarmingly high. In a crisis, you might have a much better chance of picking up an infection in a hospital than if the doctor performed the procedure in your own bedroom. At least at home, you have germs that you've developed an immunity against, and they're usually not resistant to every antibiotic known to man. After lying in a hospital bed for weeks on end, pumped full of intravenous antibiotics, Tom finally began to recover. The doctors were able to save his life. Others were not so fortunate, and despite what the media and government would have you believe, The greatest number of casualties after Katrina were not caused by the flooding itself, but by the infections in the medical crisis that followed. That's why every person should have some antibiotics stockpiled at home. In a crisis, it may be too late to find out what you really need, or doing so might put you in harm's way. If Tom would have had just a few antibiotics at home, he would have never had to leave his house. How do you stockpile enough life-saving antibiotics without a prescription? Well, you do. My guess is that sooner or later, you'll do what they did in Venezuela. You will turn to the medicinal plants growing in your backyard or in a nearby forest or park. They have so much more to offer than you might think, but it isn't until people run almost out of medicine completely that they realize that. If you don't know this already, many of the medicines on the market today are still derived from substances found in common plants.
Aspirin is made from the bark of the willow tree, and with the right knowledge, you can extract it yourself to lower a fever or fight pain and inflammation. The flu medicine known as Tamiflu is derived from a plant called the star anise. About 90% of the world's star anise crop is used to make Tamiflu. An alkaloid from this tree was discovered to be effective against malaria and leg cramps. Today we call the drug quinine. You can find it at a retail price of $218 at Walgreens. And this fungus contains a powerful immunosuppressive substance that can ameliorate symptoms of multiple sclerosis and other autoimmune conditions. The derived drug today is called Gilenya, and 30 capsules will set you back around $9,000. And the list goes on, and that's why even today, one of the most expensive things that you can buy on the black market in Venezuela is not food or guns, but medicinal plants. In America, so chances are, during dark times, you probably need to take your health into your own hands. As the economic collapse worsened in Venezuela, so did the medical situation. Many were left waiting in line for hours on end to see an overworked doctor who had almost nothing left to treat them with. Similar things happened after Katrina ravaged New Orleans, and people died needlessly in hospital hallways, waiting for someone to give them the time of day. Practical medicine for every household. You can use it whenever hospitals become overwhelmed and dangerous, or to help yourself or a loved one while awaiting an ambulance to arrive. And that supply chain will stop working, and you'll be left with only what you have on hand after the pharmacies run dry. Another thing you'll discover is the best natural painkiller that probably grows in your own backyard. This is the pain-killing plant that many in Venezuela turned to after they couldn't find relief at the pharmacy anymore. It grows all over North America as well. You'll also learn how to deal with shortages of medicines such as insulin, which some people need to take every day. A friend of mine from Texas, if you're taking sleeping pills from time to time, even melatonin, you should try to replace them with this recipe instead, as it's natural and completely safe. You'll also rediscover 40 bizarre home remedies our grandparents taught us that actually work and doctors use or prescribe. These have once again become very popular, very important for people who have no option left but to treat themselves at home. For example, you can tackle most headaches using a potato, deal with bug bites using toothpaste, lower fever with vinegar and socks, make cough syrup from black radish, and many others. You'll also learn how to use a two-pronged approach to help resolve pink eye and other bacterial eye infections. Did you know that there is a sort of natural doxycycline to be found as close as your own backyard? The plant is called Usnea, and it's popularly known as old man's beard. This wild plant grows all over North America, and once you gather some, you'll find out how to turn it into an antibiotic tincture to greatly increase its potency and shelf life. Another thing you'll discover is how to make your own cabbage bandages. Cabbage leaves are great and anti-inflammatory and contain compounds that also draw out poison or pus from a wound and speed up the healing. This isn't even a folk remedy. Maybelle was taught this is absolutely massive, with over 300 pages filled with practical tips, precise diagrams, and step-by-step procedures that will allow you to stay healthy and help others while society crumbles. The medical system can be put under enormous strain even when things are still somewhat normal. An unforeseen event will always push it over the edge. You'll be left in the back of a huge line to see a doctor while you're hurting or in need of urgent medical assistance. With the Home Doctor, you could become a home doc yourself. Home docs are self-reliant people who take care of themselves and their families when the situation demands it. That's what I wanted to achieve with this book, to empower normal people with no previous medical experience to take care of themselves, their loved ones, and even their communities when doctors and hospitals are not an option anymore. If you decide to place a copy of the Home Doctor, Practical Medicine for Every Household on your bookshelf today, there are 2 additional gifts in store for you, all still free of charge for now. The first one is called Wild Edibles You Can Forage For or Find Around Your House. These are the life-saving herbs that people of Venezuela ate when they couldn't afford to buy food from the market anymore. These plants grow all over North America, and I bet they're also found around your house. With this bonus, you'll be able to identify your own 24/7 backyard supermarket. The best part is few people in the U.S. know about these plants and how nutritious they really are, so you won't have to deal with a lot of competition while foraging for them.
You'll also receive a second gift called Natural Healing Secrets of Native Americans. In this one, you'll rediscover the powerful natural medicines that natives relied on well before the dawn of modern medicine. In a medical collapse, they will be worth their weight in gold. With this, you'll never be short on medicine, no matter what happens, and will always have a way left to help yourself or a loved one in need. The plants they used are still abundant in America. All you need to know is how to properly identify them and turn them into tinctures, salves, poultices, decoctions, elixirs, and many other remedies that the natives used with great success for hundreds of years. As I promised, if you choose to get the Home Doctor today, you'll also get these 2 exclusive bonuses that are worth at least $29 each for free, and unlimited access to the members area where you can ask me or Dr. Maybell anything at any time. We'll be there to answer your questions and to help you if you need any clarification on anything inside the book. And the best part is that you don't need to wait for the collapse of modern healthcare to make good use of your book. The medical self-reliance found inside will probably end up saving you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars over the next few years. With that in mind, let me ask you, how much do you think the Home Doctor is worth? How do you put a price on your health or the health of someone you love? Some pharmaceutical companies sell the drugs for outrageous sums of money, sometimes thousands of dollars, just because they can. I wanted this book to be in the hands of as many people as possible because it could save a lot of lives. For a one-time payment of just $37, you'll receive the massive medical guide that is the Home Doctor and the 2 bonuses. You'll have a full 60 days to try the Home Doctor, Practical Medicine for Every Household. If at any time during that 60 days you're not completely satisfied with the results, send me an email and I'll give you back every cent. It's as simple as that. Also, if you use this book to take care of your current health issues, you don't end up saving at least $37, I'll send you a full refund. No questions asked. As my personal guarantee to you, think for yourself, act according to your own judgment, and learn what you need to keep yourself and your family healthy from this day forward. So there you have it. No matter where you live in the world, a collapse is never out of the question. History shows us that much. What better advice can you get than from a frontline doctor working in a country that's been dealing with this for the last couple of years? I've shown you why going to a hospital can be a very bad idea, the best way to stockpile antibiotics and other medicines, why you should extract medicines from plants, and the vital do-it-yourself medical procedures and knowledge you must have on hand. So now the choice is yours. The way I see it, you do one of these 3 things. First, you could disregard everything I've told you and hope that a medical collapse will never happen. Looking back, a lot of people made this same mistake in Venezuela, and in America too, only to pay the ultimate price when reality hit. The second thing you could do is to try to discover everything found inside the Home Doctor on your own. But let me tell you, If you're not a doctor or no one willing to help, that will take months or years and probably cost you a lot more than $37. But I think that the third option is the best one for you and your family. Take Dr. Maybell's knowledge, as it's written down inside the HomeDoctor, and use it to become a home doctor yourself. You'll know exactly what medicines to stockpile for your needs, where to find them on the cheap, and how to perform simple but life-saving procedures in the comfort of your own home. The HomeDoctor is really all you need to take your health into your own hands from this moment on. If you have the foresight to purchase it today, this book will protect you and your loved ones for many years to come. And there's absolutely no risk in giving it a try and having something that few people ever get when it comes to healthcare, a real alternative. I wish you all the best, and I want to thank you for staying with me until the end of this short presentation. God bless you and your entire family. I'm Claude Davis.